so far apart. Hi, everyone. Clap once if you can hear me. That's my mom coming out. I'm also going to talk loud for the folks over there. Hey, folks over there, would you like to come and join us? Shh. Woo! Oh, they quieted down. I guess that was a cue. How's everybody feeling? That's what I'm talking about, energy, okay? What a time to be alive. Well, I just wanted to say I am so excited to be here today. My name's Rakia Reynolds. I'm an advisor for Deep Blue. Snaps and claps to Lauren Carenti for bringing me in. I'm also the executive officer of Sky Blue Media. We are a strategic communications agency. And we, for the purpose of this conference, I'll talk about our client roster on this side. We've gotten to work with some of the most amazing women athletes of all time, starting with Dani Garcia, whose brand I'm wearing today, GSTQ, also Serena Williams and Allison Felix. So I just feel so honored to be amongst all of you today to talk about business, commerce, content, and community. So I just wanted to start off by saying, one, and they're going to introduce themselves, but you all will guess who some of these intros are for. But I'm joined by a former athlete and longtime chef who created the first of its kind space dedicated to women's sports in Portland, Oregon. I'm also joined by one of the creatives of the media and commerce company behind the slogan, "Everyone watches women's sports," whose merchandise has sold out 4 times, selling over 1,000 orders in the first 24 hours, and the wait list keeps on growing. I'm on it. Somebody pull a favor from me. A person who founded a women's basketball community in 2018 to close the gender gap by creating more opportunities for women, whether it be philanthropically or through art and fashion. And an artist and entrepreneur whose company is known for its one-of-a-kind, hand-drawn tees with bold statements, one of which says, "If you're now just tuning into women's basketball, we told you so." So, all right, y'all. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
All right, hello, everyone. My name is Nguyen. I'm the founder and CEO of The Sports Bra. It's in Portland, Oregon, and like Rakia said, it's for now. Like Rakia said, it's the first space of its kind, dedicated 100% to girls and women's in sports, and we're really excited to be here. Thank you.
I'm Justine Brown. I'm the VP of Creative Development and Talent Relations at Together. I've seen a ton of the shirts, and I love it. And also, if you haven't received yours, it's coming, I promise, and we love you, and we thank you for your patience. And there's a guy named Tommy around here. You can speak to him if you find him.
Where's Tommy?
I'm just kidding. I'm going to get fired. Go ahead, Alex.
I'm Alex Taylor. I founded a community and collective called Hoop York City here in New York. Thank you.
I'm Esther Wallace. I'm the founder of Playa Society. And we're known for making great women's sports merch.
That's awesome. All right, y'all, we're going to jump right into it. So we know that women's sports has been so community-driven for such a long time, and we can't scroll through social media right now without seeing something along the lines or pertaining to women's sports. Talk to us about each of your communities. What has the impact been? What are you seeing?
Oh my gosh, at the Bra, I feel like at first it was hardcore women's sports fans coming through those doors. But nowadays, it's everybody. And it's one of those things where you build the space and you never know what you've opened the doors to. Because I was just telling somebody, where women and sports cross over, it's not like this fine point on a map. It's like a big bang. And it ripples out to every single thing. So the community started out hardcore sports, and now we get all kinds of people through there, and it's fantastic. And it's just the power of sports and community.
I think that one of the things, obviously, the everyone watches women's sports sentiment was to change that narrative in communities online. That was nobody, and it wasn't true. And it was simply that, a narrative, not actually a true story. It was a good product and a good talent. And so I think, like, when I look at the communities here right now, I think women's sports has one of the most amazing, wholesome, all of the above. And I think we have a thing that's growing that's going to be really hard for us, and we're all going to have to stretch. But at the end of the day, that's what we've been asking for. And I think what's important is that the core of community is all of us. And as long as we keep those core values and we keep those core things, we will affect everybody who's coming into this space.
I think the biggest difference I've seen is that a lot of people are meeting me halfway in these conversations more than ever before, because I've had to do a lot of explaining historically about what I do and why I do it. And now, as soon as I say women's basketball, they're like, oh, yeah. Caitlin Clark, and yeah, did you see those numbers? Did you watch the draft? Like, there's just more excitement around everything, which is really great. I think it just makes so much of it more exciting and energizing for a lot of us who have been in the game for a minute, championing this before it was cool.
Yeah, and just building off of that, definitely having that "we told you so" moment, right? And being able to, we've seen the growth, and now everybody else is getting a chance to see it. And so being able to amplify these spaces, being able to amplify the merch, seeing more people at games, and the diversity of people who are showing up in these spaces, they want, for me, on my end, creating that product that people want to wear and that people can really have some fun with, get their fits off and all that stuff. So that's what I'm here for, and just having the opportunity to see more people participate in that has been great.
That's my favorite part. Let's get our fits off. Come on with the language. All right, Jenny, I'm going to start with you. So one of the things I like to say to my team all of the time is build a community before you need a community. And you've done that tremendously. In fact, you can tell the people about the news if they have not seen it on social media, but I do want to point out that as someone who has built a massive revenue in the first 8 months of business, you really do know what community is like. So how did you build that community for the Sports Bra?
Gosh, I feel like we can't talk about the Sports Bra and community without first saying that I had no money to start it. And it was a Kickstarter that made it happen. And that Kickstarter, that money came from, I think we had 655 backers. We met our goal in 9 days, and we had it open in we had the Kickstarter open for 30 days, and so by the time it closed, it had over doubled what we had asked for, and so community started before our doors even opened. So I think I always want to remind folks that it took the people to create that space. I might have had the idea, but it wouldn't have happened without the people. And so all of those folks, in fact, all those backers, they follow along. They're part of something. They're part of building something. And then I didn't know anything about a business. So everyone who I asked to get help, all of those folks were invested in me and the bra. And that built community. And then when we finally got the doors open, people poured in, and that grew the community. And again, it was like tons of queer folks, tons of women, tons of sports fans, and then it became everybody, kids, families. We have whole groups of guys come through. There was like a bachelor party that came through, and we were like, oh no, this is gonna go one way. And it was the opposite. They were so respectful, super nice. They bought a ton of merch, and not in like some goofy way. They were like, I love this. Dude, I love this. And so we're like, I think that the community, there's that core that was there from beginning, like who believed in my dream. And then there's, all those people that were just like, give it 2 months, right? We know those guys. Where are they now? But there's folks who it flipped the switch. We have people come in who are just like, oh, we saw all these people in here. What kind of sports you guys got? They order a beer. They sit down. They're like, wait a second. This is all women's sports. And they got caught up. And then they were like, wait, this is real good. And they come back. And so the more spaces we have like that, whether it's the bra or not, the better. Because that's how we grow the game. That's how we grow equity. That's how we get more of those voices that are underrepresented out there. And like change the narrative. Because for how many decades now has the narrative been told by a certain section of the population? So it's about time. It's about time, right? Yeah. And like, so much of me wants to be like, thank you finally for changing the channel, turn it on, thank you, thank you. But I also want to be like, and, you know, trans athletes, and hire black women, and we need more people in the comments, we need more people in the commentary, we need more people behind the camera, we need like C-suite all the way to the top, all the way, everyone. Like, so I think that this is a great opportunity for all of us to use the hype and be like, thank you, and then ask for it all, because we want it all. Right?
Come on, Jenny.
Go. Let's go. I'm stoked. I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
Jenny,
Sorry.
Jenny is hyped.
I done told them. I was just like, you guys got to tug your ear because I'll go off. All right.
We need to recruit you for some of our government. Once you finish over the sports bra, listen, I can call some people. We need some help.
Do not get this to my grandpa. My grandpa, like, since I was 12, he was just like, you belong in politics. And I was like,
Channeling your grandpa.
ooh, stop. Oh, no.
All right, Alex, you and I spoke the other day, and you were talking about the excitement and the uptick in women's sports, and you gave this story about how you were shopping on Facebook, and this man asked you if you had seen the draft. I want you to tell us about that story, but also how the uptick has impacted your community specifically.
Yeah, that's a very funny story. I've been known to shop on Facebook Marketplace. I love furniture, and I'm constantly buying furniture that I don't need. So
But your office, tell her office, y'all, go online. She's got an eye for interior design.
Thank you. Yeah, so I met up with this guy, and I was buying something from him, and he walked up, very creepy looking, extremely creepy. I immediately rethought it. We're like, I had to drive deep into Brooklyn, and I walked up to him, and he's in this like stained hoodie sweatshirt with these like baggy jeans, and he's not very warm at first, and I walk up to him, and it's like within 5 minutes, when I pay him, he sees that there's a basketball on my Venmo or something, and he's like, you play basketball? And I was like, yeah, I have a women's basketball community, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, did you watch the draft last night? Like, oh my God, did you see? They were wearing all these outfits, and it was so exciting. And did you watch the Final Four game? I was like, yeah, I was there. And we talked for 45 minutes. Like, it's so unassuming. And that's just what I mean. It's like, I'm not having to do as much explaining. These people, like, that you, just in corners of the world that you never would have expected to understand or even have an interest in women's sports are now awake, and they're excited. And I'm seeing that ripple effect, just getting more inquiries from people wanting to play in the community, more inquiries from people who want to work with my brand and want to connect and just know what I'm doing, because they think it's like, you know, it's at the forefront. I've been here since 2017, 2018 is when I founded Hoop York City, and I've just seen so much growth every year, and now I feel like it's just at this pinnacle where it's just so exciting to feel like it's all just getting started. Like, I'm 5-6 years in now, and it's like, wow, like, we haven't even touched the surface. And that's what's most exciting to me. Like, what other opportunities are on the horizon for all of us, you know, to be able to take this to the next level and keep just like asking for more, like Jenny said. Yeah, it's just like, it's a great time to be in women's sports. We all caught a wave, and we should ride it. We should ride it to the end.
Amen. And speaking of which, Esther, you are a pioneer in the women's merch space. And, you know, we look at, you know, you have a T-shirt that says, "We told you so." So what do you attribute some of the catch-up that the rest of the world is facing? So that's one part of the question. The other part of the question is, because there has been an uptick in women's sports merch specifically, in some parts of the world, it's gone up by 640%. How has that impacted your business specifically?
Wow, two-parter, so bear with me. Well, the first part of that, I mean, I think the first part is easy. What is it attributed to? It's attributed to, like, the people who have been a part of the community, the people who knew women's sports were dope to begin with and didn't listen to the people who had no idea what they were talking about, saying that it wasn't dope, right? The players, the media who have pioneered social media platforms to amplify women's sports, right? That's what all of this growth is attributed to. People were doing the work, and now we're seeing the results of all of that work that has been put in. Playa Society was one of, if not the first, like, small brand to come in and have a WNBA license. And me kind of sitting back and designing merch every day for players, for the teams, being in every arena before this moment is happening, right? Where now everybody wants to jump in, but we were amplifying this before this moment, right? And so now we're having the moment because people were doing the work. And I think that they need to be recognized and appreciated for what has been done. And I think as a result of the work that's been done and what's being amplified now, for me personally, I mean, now I'm at the point where when I think this happened just like a week ago now, you know, I have to, because of licensing, I have to get a lot of things approved. And so when I'm updating my website, sometimes I'm waiting to get permission for the next drop. And so I had a coming soon image on my website. And it was still kind of shoppable, I guess. And I had people on Twitter, like, reposting it saying, I got my t-shirt, but there was no photo of the t-shirt. So, like, I have my community that's buying product without even seeing it first, which has been amazing to have people who have been with Playa Society for so long, who collect Playa Society t-shirts, who love the product that much that they're just like, they're bought in before they even know what the design looks like. So I thank them for their confidence in me. And, you know, I always perform under pressure, so let's go get it.
Let's go get it.
I got a side note. I have a line item in my budget that's Esther's drops. No doubt. Like, I'm like, I got to budget it in. It's bad. I got a problem.
I appreciate you, Jenny.
I love that. All right, Justine. Okay, with, you know, working with co-founders such as Alice Morgan, Sue Bird, Simone Manuel, Chloe Kim, you know, building a media platform designed specifically to bring visibility to women in women's sports, you know all too well what the economic impact has been over this past year. You know, I'd love to talk to you a little bit about what that impact has looked like for the Together community and for some of the work that you've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody here has said, like, the inbound has been crazy. Right now, it's suddenly a lot of people who are like, we've always wanted to. I was like, well, last year was 10 times cheaper, but what did you want to do? Because we're interested. But I think that we're seeing, obviously, this massive growth in a thing that all of us have believed in for a long time. I've been saying this a lot today, but I think the world of this draft class, obviously. Caitlin Clark, Camila Cardoso, Cameron Brink, Rakia Jackson, all the Angel Reese, like, all these players who are clearly bringing in incredible numbers and viewership, and teams are selling out all the time. But, like, to that, I raise you Brianna Stewart, Myra Moore, Skylar Diggins, Candace Parker, Candace Wiggins. Like, there are so many names that all played in the same era, like same NECA, all of them. They have been here. We've all believed in it. The product's been good. We knew that. Everybody in this room already knew that. And now what we have is an opportunity to actually have the platform to tell these stories. And I think Together was built to be that, you know, a massive global superstar soccer player who was like, we still don't get any love, so I'm going to build it. And you look at that, and you look at where we're at now, and I think where we want to see growth and where we believe that we are, like, preeminent is storytelling and telling these stories that have deserved to be told for a long time. And I think now what I'm hearing a lot and what we all would like to see is, like, where's the shoulder programming? Where's the studio show? Where's the content? We saw the big three go crazy. The big three being Elle, Shanae, and Andrea. And I think like we want to see more of that. And if you've learned one thing, this audience is ravenous. These drops aren't selling out for no reason. I want to give flowers to every single person on this stage because we're all necessary. We've all been here. We're all growing together. And I think it's easy to start getting competitive, but it's still not big enough. The glass ceiling wasn't built to hold 19 million viewers. And so it's gone. So where do we go with no glass ceiling and the limit does not exist? And we do that together, I think, so no pun intended.
I love that. All right, I know we're short on time, so I'm going to read this last question. A recent op-ed in USA Today said women's sports don't have to be a niche community. There's no denying that women in sports are having their long overdue global moment after using their voices, storytelling, to speak out all of these years. You almost can't scroll social right now without seeing something related to women's sports. How do we ensure that these viral moments create longevity, sustainability, and create larger communities?
I can take that.
All right, go ahead.
I think everything we just said, the visibility, the numbers didn't come because suddenly people showed up. The numbers came because you gave an audience visibility, and you gave athletes visibility, and you gave platforms, and you gave good spots. We could still take primetime spots, but I think the way it's sustained is all of these brands and all of these networks who now see there is value and who now see that these numbers are breaking records, continue to support, continue to show up, continue to invest, and believe in the thing we've been believing in all along. And by continuing to put it on TVs, people can love an athlete in Iowa. You know, like they can know who an athlete is in Iowa. I know, I saw, she's not even an Iowa fan. But you know, like I grew up in Wisconsin, so I literally see little girls in Wisconsin wearing Iowa, and I was like, we don't wear Iowa in Wisconsin. What are you doing? But I get it. And so I think that if we continue to see that investment, and I think you will see your returns if you don't see that already, and I think that's how we sustain it.
Yeah, and just chiming in, I think that it's important to look at it not as a moment, because this is something that shouldn't be considered just a trend or just a moment, right? This is something that has deserved the amplification, and now that it's getting that amplification, I think that learn from the past, right, decision makers, and don't assume that it's only here for a short time. Like, make the assumption that this is something to invest deeper into and continue to build on, so that this is really just the tip of the iceberg. You know, this is something that's going to last and stand the test of time. And again, I think it takes the community and the people to continue to keep doing the work, and then the brands and the dollars need to be invested into that, and to the people who have been carrying the culture, because I think that that's so important.
I'm glad you
respect
said
that culture too.
Yes, walk it like you talk it. The brands have to invest dollars. We have 1 minute and 10 seconds, and real fast, because this is the story behind all of your glory up here. Tell everyone one thing that we can look forward to as it relates to your business.
I'll take that one. That one's easy. Yesterday, we announced that we're going to franchise. So I'm excited, scared to death, but very excited. And I have that to look forward to, as well as everyone else. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked on that.
Congratulations, Justine.
I think for us, it's to continue to do the incredible storytelling and hopefully be doing it on these shoulder programming, on these studio shows, continue to tell these stories. And also for more iterations of Everyone Watches Women's Sports. We hear you. It's coming, I promise.
Something that comes to mind, I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it.
There's only a few people here. Nobody will talk.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Exclusive.
So there are 17 NCAA schools that I've done uniforms for next year.
Whoop, whoop. I didn't even know that. I thought we were friends.
It's the friendier.
Well, Playa Society should be in some stores soon, some physical locations very soon. And also catch us at WNBA All-Star in person for one of our activations and pop-ups. So we'll keep building and keep growing.
That's awesome. Congratulations, y'all. Well, I just wanted to say thank you one more time for all of the people in this room. We are drinking deeply from wells that we did not dig, and you all are doing amazing work. So thank you so much.